let's talk about Kamala Harris. Let's get some laughs out. Let's talk about Madam Vice President. Now, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris 2 days ago went on the View, and I don't know if you've seen the interview, but I personally don't watch the View. But I watched this interview in particular because in the interview she talked about three things, and this are three things that she loved to talk about: gun violence, the having the correct health resources for abortions and just maternal care just in general, making sure that women actually can afford if they need to go to any of these medical care centers so they can actually be able to afford the medical care. And dang, did I already say gun control? Because she brought it up like twice in like the same sentence. That was a joke. Um, um, and she also talked about making sure that students are able to actually pay off their student loans and helping them and having what is it? It's when they just wipe away the student loans. I can't think of it really.
I think that's what they're trying to do, but I think from like, 'cause I've read maybe like one or two articles about it, so I'm not the most knowledgeable on on the student loan topic. But I think what they're trying to do is get rid of like half of it because it's just not getting paid off. And I'm like, what do y'all expect? Yeah, like these colleges are so expensive, even with like the scholarships and stuff. It's only paying for like half of it now, so it's just I'm lucky that I got out of college without having. I got well, it was community college. I got my associate's degree in general studies, and I got out of it without having to take out a loan or owing anything to that college. So I'm just good on that.
Student loans. I have several, but um, I was trying to think of a name because it's a certain word that they use when they was talking about it. But essentially, that was on her three focal points on the interview, and while she was talking about it, she does her whole called Kamala Harris thing, this, that, and the third. But one in particular question that was brought up on the View that struck a chord with the woman. I don't know her name, but she was sitting right next to Kamala on the right of her. She asked Kamala, "What is her viewpoint on Trump being back in the race, and how would you feel if Trump somehow? Oh my God, hope he doesn't." This is what she said on national television. That what would you do if he got in back in office? This woman said, "I hope to God not." But I would be scared. I would be scared that if he ever got back into office. But that's not to say that I would be scared. We should all be scared because of just look what he's saying on television and look what he just did in the past. And so if I'm saying that I'm scared, we should all be scared. And I don't know if that is necessarily considered as fear mongering because you could
That's
say
definitely fear mongering.
I'll I'll give it a caveat. I'll give it a caveat because
Okay.
as the woman on the board says on the View, they said I agree with them because if the vice president is saying that we should be worried about this next election, then as the American people, not necessarily we should be worried about the election, but we should be keeping an eye on the candidates, seeing what policies and what viewpoints they're actually talking about. And so when it comes time in October for us to vote, we vote for the right person that we think should be in office.
But my thing,
Because
the reason I will say that it is fear mongering, because when she was asked, she was talking about on Trump getting back in office. She was like, that scares me, and as a nation, we should be scared. So it's implying that hey, go out there and vote. So to make sure this guy who I fear as the vice president don't get back in office, because if he was to get back in office, it's a problem. And my issue is like my only issue with it. I'm not gonna take a side. I personally don't care about the Democrats or the Republican. I'm not don't You're not gonna label me. I don't care about either party. And the way I feel at this point, on a good day, the Democrats aren't crybabies, and on a bad day, the Republicans are crybabies. For the last 4 years that Biden has been in office, I have been disappointed by the Republican Party. As much as they have been crybabies, crying over and over again, more crying, just like the Democrats. And I'm like, yo, aren't y'all supposed to be the party of this, that, and the third? And y'all are doing the exact same thing that the Democrats are doing. But damn, y'all are hypocrites. That's cool. At least for the Democrats, they stand on it. Shit, or a little bit. They stand on it. I'm like, y'all can't even stand. Y'all can't even stand on y'all principal values. That is crazy to me. But okay, cool. So, like these 4 years have, while Trump has not been in office, have been kind of an eye-opening experience to realize that both parties are kind of just full of shit. Me
I,
personally,
I didn't realize it's been 4 years. I did not even realize that Biden went into office in 2020 until we was talking about our tax returns earlier, and that really made me think. What the fuck has he done in the past four
nothing.
years?
Literally nothing. I mean, like literally, what got him in office in the beginning was him talking about how he wanted to what's it called, give better health care to senior citizens. Where is it? Where is it? That bothers me so much because I got a grandma that deal with bullshit with insurance and stuff. Where was to making it easier for the senior citizen? Where was any of that at? Like how I feel about, I understand politicians gotta do and say whatever they gotta say to win elections and races and power and stuff. But if you marketing your entire campaign, literally Joe Biden biggest strong point was the fact that I care about senior citizens. Where was any of that at these 4 years? Where was any of it?
It's probably too busy putting money towards the bills that never got passed because apparently every most of the bills that Biden and Kamala passed on the Senate Congress they wouldn't pass them.
I wonder why. No, that's probably because the Senate. I think the Senate is majority Republican, so that's most probably why. So, but even so, there have been cases, in a lot of cases, where even if it was majority swinging, if it was swinging more Democrat than Republican, that some bills would still get passed because they was just generally good bills, regardless of party and views or whatever. But I doubt that's been the case over these last 4 years. But I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't know the policies that they have tried to make. I do know what was promised, and I do know that that the senior citizens was not given, or the American people was not given any of the things that y'all promised. So you lied. That's cool and all. You lied, and I personally want to see y'all back in office. So I'm not gonna vote for y'all because I do have the power to vote. I don't want y'all in office. Now, what is my one vote gonna do? Maybe not much, but that's fine. It's still me voting.
What
It's
I will
time. It's
say,
time. It's time for an
wait, no,
actual change, man.
oh, I thought he was about to say this. Now it's time for the what the fuck. But what I will say is that one thing that I personally kept up with was the student loan promise. They Joe Biddy himself
Joe Gibby.
promised that student loans were going to be wiped. All student loans were going to be wiped. Maybe all student loans. That's a lot of money to just toss away. Now I would have took the half. I only got 6K to pay back. So I would have only had 3K to pay that. I would have took that wholeheartedly. Or if anything, since I only got 6K, they probably would have took that entire thing away. And I would have been A-okay with that. But it's the simple fact that over the 4 years, in the first year you promised this,
Your
nothing
mic.
happened. Oh. In the first year you promised this, nothing happened. Okay. The second year in office, it doesn't happen. Okay. This was while I was still in school. I didn't go back to school in 2023. I didn't go back to school in 2023. Still nothing. It's 2024. Where the fuck is my student loan fucking hardship at? I understand
I
that y'all
will
put
say. I will say that it did go to. I think it went to the courts, and then the courts. I think that bill has been struck down multiple times because you gotta think about it. These colleges want their money. End of the day, they do not care about the forgiveness thing that Joe Bibi is trying to like propose. They do not care. They want their money and they want their money now. They don't care if they gotta wait 20 years until you get rich, until you die. The only way you get out of it is only if you die, because at that point, they can't. It's whatever. That's just the money loss, right? But they want their money, and I don't understand what is. I don't understand what it is with the Republican Party trying to like stop it. I don't know. I don't know if that's like a corporate America thing where it's like, oh, capitalism or whatever. I do not know. I am not that knowledgeable on why they do not want the bills to be passed. I'm not gonna say I don't care, but it's the fact that these colleges are so expensive now, and it's like, how can we go for higher education and get these jobs that we so need and so desperate for in the economy if you're not giving us the opportunity to get these degrees that we need?
Just because it's behind a massive fucking paywall. And that's another issue that I have with just capitalist America and colleges just in general. So you mean to tell me just so I can pursue the career that I want to do, I have to not only sacrifice large amount of years of my life to this class, but I have to sacrifice blase amount of money to this class. If I do not have loans, if I fail the class, not only do I have to pay for the class still, but I have to still retake that class and pay for it out of my pocket because I still have no student loans. And I didn't know scholarships and I don't want to take out a student loan. And it gets so bad to the point if you really want to pursue your career, you have to take out a student loan. And that's how they get you every single time. That's how they get you, and that's how you get stuck in having to either take out a loan again just to pay for your class, or just stuck paying off the student loans. That's why so many doctors and nurses just are like $30,000, $40,000 in debt to colleges just so they could pay for their classes, just to get their doctorates, just to get their PhD, just to get their RN certification.
Like,
And
think about it like this, bro. 2 years of nursing school, we have these nurses 50,000, 50 grand in debt. 2 years.
it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. And so that's why I feel as if the push for people to go to school, I'm glad that it's getting a lot more lax. I'm glad that people are actually finding more ways to not have to go to college, because college isn't meant for everybody. I know that
It's not.
I wanted to go to college because I wanted to be a psychologist. I wanted to help people, but I just didn't want to go to school anymore. I didn't want to be in high school anymore. So why did I want to go to college? I went to college because college is an experience that everyone should have at least try once. But it was a community college, so I couldn't even really enjoy college because I'm not at a big university. I'm not meeting new people. I'm not living in the dorms. I'm not having to live and go to one of those old not Western, but old European looking fucking buildings to go to my classes. I didn't get the experience none of that because I had to go to community college, because I may be smart, but I ain't that smart. And I'm not wasting all my money to go to university just for me to not flunk, but for me to not pass because I didn't pass math.
Yeah, and I'll say this, just to like end it off.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter what side you're on. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. There are certain things that you should want, so you can actually prosper and continuously to prosper in life. Because you can argue, well, there's this and there's this and there's all these other different things you can take out. No, it is too expensive. This economy is too bad. You can blame Joe Biden. You can blame Trump. I do not care. All I care about is the problem getting fixed. And if y'all are gonna spend so much time arguing and bitching about the actual problem instead of making a fucking solution, then get the fuck out of office. You can argue from your seat at home. Let the people who are ready to solve the problem come in and solve the fucking problem. It doesn't matter if it's Trump. It does not matter if it's whatever Democrat that's out there. It doesn't matter whatever Republican that's out there. If your goal is to actually solve the problem and you're trying to solve the problem, then get the fuck in and solve the problem. You are here at the end of the day. I think the presidents and some of these very powerful political figures forget you are here to serve the people. The people are not here to serve you. You make an absurd amount of money every single year. The amount of money, let's not even talk about the free money you're basically giving during your campaigns, the millions of dollars that you're giving in your campaign. You're not giving that back. You're keeping it. It's all
Mm-hmm.
free money towards you that can be taxed, by the way, or I don't think can be taxed, by the way. But as far as what I know right now, it can't be taxed. So that's just money going in your pockets. Fix the problem, or get the fuck out the way. I'm saying, like that. That is just that simple. If you're not ready, if you cannot fix the problem, why are you here? Why are you talking? I don't want somebody that's not gonna fix the problem to talk. Leave. I don't care about the argument.
I just I just think it's so wild that and this is gonna be my last comment, and I'm gonna let it end off. I just find it so crazy that the women on the View, one woman in particular said after this interview, I hope to God that no one tells me that Kamala Harris is not fit to be president. The way that she came on this interview, she not demanded respect, but she carried herself flawlessly. She was able to answer every single question, which is a lie. Every single time she was asked a question, she would answer maybe this much and then derail. She does it in every single interview. Every single time she's on the microphone, she doesn't answer the question that she's asked. She always does not answer it. And so at this point, I don't even know if she's telling the truth, honestly, because there is no every single interview I have sat here and watched, she has always derailed from the question, or she will always go back to her three focal points: gun control, student loan, and female healthcare. I'm done.
With that, let's do outros because this podcast's been going around for like almost for a bit of for like well over an hour now. So we don't have time to do WTF that I just watched this week. But I don't really think we need it this week. It's been
Because
a
this entire
really
video,
this has been a really amazing podcast. I'm not gonna lie. I've never really wanted the podcast to really go into more in the political or social, just political podcast, just in general, like social politics. I don't really want to. Not that I won't. I don't really want to deal with the. Well, you were you for this side? What is for that? I'm with no side. I do not care about either side. I don't care about what either side want, need, or
I'm with the
crave.
big titties.
I exactly
I'm with the big titties. The fuck you on, nigga?
like at the end of the day, we're here to solve the problem, make a
Mm-hmm.
community. So, and we can't have a community if we're not able to talk about the hard topics and the dark topics and the social issues that go on. Like just because we're young, that don't mean we do. That don't mean we're so oblivious and so ignorant. It just means we're not talking about it for a particular reason. Maybe we don't know enough. Maybe we're trying to get all the information together. We're not perfect. We fuck up sometimes. We fuck up sometimes with topics. May sometimes we don't say allegedly with these topics when we should say allegedly. That's just stuff we're working on. I mean, goddamn, we've only been doing this shit for like a year now. So yeah,
Oh, it
it's
is a
all the
year.
time.
We
It is a
did
year.
it, yeah. We did
So yeah,
it.
you can consider this the 1 year anniversary podcast. So well, really the first one will be the first. Yeah, first interview podcast, episode 2, season 2, episode 2 of the CDMS podcast. Outros, Cameron, you take it off.